Good, happy Saturday morning, December 14, 2019. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Saturday morning, so let's begin. First up, 2019 Spirit of Giving Food Drive. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Siobhan Lopez.
Landowners, it's time for special year-end savings from Mahindra, the world's #1 selling farm tractor. Enjoy 0% interest or save thousands off a rugged Mahindra tractor. Buy before December 31st, and your Mahindra dealer can explain how you may qualify for extra tax savings. 'Tis the season to keep even more money in your pocket with Mahindra.
Chappell Tractor, where you'll notice the difference since 1955.
So far, so good, but the New Hampshire Food Bank needs all the help it can get, especially this weekend during one of its biggest food drives of the year. Shaw's shoppers are showing their holiday spirit.
People are generous all year round, but this time of the year, it just goes to a different level.
Thousands of meals are donated to the Spirit of Giving food drive in its first day.
Just this morning, one of my cashiers said they had one customer had $150 worth of chair pads, so it's exciting.
Donations pour in at other participating locations, but the message from the New Hampshire Food Bank is keep it coming, because the need is great all year.
3 meals a day, 365 days a year, so it's a big need.
The food bank does not receive any state or federal funding and is working to feed the about 1 in 9 adults in New Hampshire who are food insecure, meaning they don't know where their next meal is coming from.
12% are children 18 and under, and 1 in 6 are senior citizens.
For the 6th year in a row, an anonymous donor is pledging to match cash donations up to $100,000.
That will make a huge difference. It's so exciting. We're thrilled to pieces.
Shaw's making a $5,000 donation to the food bank while encouraging customers to help fill the shelves at their local food pantries.
I know this time of the year, it's something that's when they get depleted, to be able to fill it back up, and it's a good feeling.
The food drive will continue this weekend at all Shaw's, Hannaford, Walmart, and Common Man locations. You can make those cash donations online at nhfoodbank.org. Reporting in Hooksett, Siobhan Lopez, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Icy covered roads lead to dozens of crashes, spinouts across New Hampshire. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Gene Mackin. State police responded to more than 65 crashes on roads including I-93 and I-89.
Chappell Tractor has been in our family since 1955 when great-grandfather Pearlie and our grandfather George decided to sell tractors out of their barn with a work ethic geared towards customer satisfaction and loyalty. A lot has changed since then, but we still have a commitment to treating our customers like family. At Chappell Tractor, we have the experience to get the job done right, with locations in Milford and Brentwood in Concord, New Hampshire. We provide customers with the highest quality equipment from the most trusted brands. Go to chappelltractor.com or stop in for a visit.
Well, Tom, what a messy Friday the 13th out here. We are on the Bow-Concord line right at the junction of Interstate 89 and 93. 89 this way, 93 behind me, and it's right north of this area where we have seen a lot of problems tonight. We want to show you some pictures provided to us from State Police along with video from our own WMUR videographer out there on the roads and tell you that once again, state police have now responded to almost 70 reported crashes north of Concord on 89 and 93. About 25, a little more than 24, with what they call significant injuries, and that includes one crash that involved 7 vehicles in New Hampton. One person sent to the hospital with minor injuries in that incident. DOT crews out doing their best to try to treat the roads, these icy conditions that are sending some cars sliding off the road. State police want us to send out the word that speed limits are down to 45 in these areas, and they need people to slow down. We have reports coming in from viewers of traffic problems in these areas: Ashland, New Hampton, Bosco, and Franklin, Sanbornton, New London out on 89, the Sunapee area, a big mess shut down there for a little while tonight, and right where we are in Bow. Let's hear what state police describe as what happened here tonight.
It was drizzling out, and as soon as the drizzle touched the pavement, it turned to immediate glare ice, and you had no idea. Cars were going highway speeds and just sliding off the road. There were way more crashes than we had troopers to cover.
Yeah, in fact, state police tell us they had to call that midnight shift in early to get troopers out on these interstates to help people out of ditches and medians. Once again, we have one reported injury, reportedly minor injuries, so that is some good news. We're also told that the DOT is making progress, dumping what we call the beach, the salt and sand on these roads, hoping those temps fall and that glare ice melts away. We will keep you posted, but for now, live out in Bow, Jean Mackin, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Boy with muscular dystrophy meets 13 police canines from across country. Mother says boy watched video of canines online during doctor's visits. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Andy Hirschberger.
Landowners, it's time for special year-end savings from Mahindra, the world's #1 selling farm tractor. Enjoy 0% interest or save thousands off a rugged Mahindra tractor. Buy before...
He's a special little guy, and I don't know what else to say.
There's nothing like a boy and his dog, except maybe 13 dogs, all police canines from all over the country. They came to Derry to meet 8-year-old Aiden Moore, who has a rare form of muscular dystrophy. This all started more than a year ago when Aiden began watching online videos of police dogs to pass the time during doctor's visits. That's where he met Indianapolis canine handler Molly Gross.
I reached out to Molly and I said, hey, could you just tell Aiden hi, because he's loves you. And so she did. She made a video and she said hi, and then from then on we've just been talking all the time.
Molly learned of Aiden's illness. Word spread through other canine handlers. One thing led to another, and Friday he met his online heroes in person. They also presented Aiden's family with this wheelchair-accessible minivan that they will eventually need. The van was bought from money in a GoFundMe account, and it was driven across country from Indiana to be here. Any money that's left over in that account will go to Aiden's family to handle medical expenses.
So much that's out there in the world that we see is negative, and I think people are drawn to, honestly, the spirit of Christmas. It sounds cheesy, but people drawn together and doing something positive for a young boy that's deserving of it.
It's just overwhelming. I feel like I know Aiden's so special, and now I really know how special he is. He brought all these people together.
It's amazing.
Well said, Aiden. It is pretty amazing. In Derry, Andy Hirschberger, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Man suffers stab wounds in altercation with juvenile, Danville police say. state officials involved in case, police say. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Kristen Carosa.
Chappell Tractor has been in our family since 1955, when great-grandfather Pearlie and our grandfather George decided...
The police chief says an older man and a juvenile relative got into an altercation that lasted for more than a minute. The juvenile had only minor injuries from the fight, but the adult
was transported to the Elliott Hospital for non-life-threatening injuries. The juvenile was taken into custody where we had a chance to speak with him.
The chief cannot comment on exactly what was said during that interview, but did tell us authorities have taken some action in the case.
Since that time, we do have a safety plan in place for all parties involved, and the case remains ongoing at this point.
The chief says the state is now involved and the two parties have been separated. Right now, no charges have been filed in the case, but the chief says that could change in the coming days.
We're looking into both parties as possibly having some involvement in charges, perhaps one or both. A very disturbing situation altogether, and yeah, it could have been devastating.
In Danville, Kristen Carosa, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Two presidential candidates address young Democrat voters in Manchester. Young people expected to play a crucial role in election. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Mike Cronin.
Landowners, it's time for special year-end savings from Mahindra, the world's #1.
I am radically excited for President Bernie Sanders.
Representative Ilhan Omar introduces Bernie Sanders during a New Hampshire Young Democrats event at the Manchester Masonic Temple. Sanders says it's up to young people to vote and transform the country.
Your generation is anti-racist, anti-sexist, anti-homophobia, anti-xenophobia, and anti-religious bigotry. All of the things that Donald Trump is, you are not.
Deval Patrick says he's later, but not late to the 2020 race. He plans to focus on New Hampshire up to the primary.
You learn, I do, by engaging with people, because you find out whether, the policy choices you're proposing are the ones that actually make a difference in people's lives.
He says the country needs a change in tone.
We are going to have to learn again to shout kindness, to shout compassion, to shout justice, to be unafraid.
Massachusetts Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley spoke on behalf of Elizabeth Warren.
People like to talk about her being a teacher and a professor. She was an incredible teacher, but you know what she is? An even better student. And I've seen that. I've known her for almost a decade.
And nonprofit founder Bianca Charday spoke for Tom Steyer.
And on so many other progressive issues, Tom has been an early champion and has a track record of getting things done as an outsider.
It is a quiet weekend on the First in the Nation campaign trail with no scheduled visits. Live in the newsroom, Mike Cronin, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. A quiet weekend. New Hampshire lawmakers reject federal grant to open 27 new charter schools. Opponents of grant say state would have had to pay to keep the schools running. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Kim Calorie.
We feel that if a customer wants their product and they're ambitious and they want to do it today, if we have it here in stock, we have the people, the trucking, and why put off till tomorrow what you can do today?
Visit us at powellstone.com.
Standing room only at this legislative committee meeting as state lawmakers debate accepting millions of dollars from the federal government to open 27 new charter schools in New Hampshire.
I think there are real questions about whether those are needed, what the costs might be in the long run. Free money is rarely free.
We have a waiting list of more than 1,300 students to get into charter schools. That indicates that there's a real demand for alternatives, for public alternatives.
It was a vote down party lines 7-3 that rejected $10 million. The first installment of a 5-year grant totaling $46 million.
Really disappointed.
State Education Commissioner Frank Edelblut says the grant would have benefited students who struggle in traditional schools, as well as help build the New Hampshire school system as a whole.
We have one set of students here in New Hampshire, and it is our collective responsibility to try and bring every one of those students to their best possible place, their best possible outcome.
State legislators who oppose this grant say the money is essentially good for starting these schools, but in the end, it's the state who will have to foot the bill to keep them running.
We know this grant will cost the state tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions, out of the Education Trust Fund in the future.
Wouldn't it make sense to apply for a federal grant to strengthen our existing public charter schools and also apply for a federal grant for our traditional public schools?
As we got to regroup, I'm going to have to reach back out to the feds and see if they will allow us some more time to work with the legislature.
In Concord, I'm Tim Calorie, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. "13-year-old arrested in murder of Barnard College freshman." Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
Major headlines this Friday night into a break in the case of that horrific murder here in New York City. An 18-year-old college student attacked while walking in a park. Barnard freshman Tessa Majors was stabbed in that city park. She died after staggering to the top of this stairwell to get help. Tonight, a 13-year-old is now under arrest. Police say he was seen in grainy surveillance near the scene. ABC's Ariel Reshef again tonight.
Tonight, a 13-year-old suspect arrested in the chilling murder of Barnard College freshman Tessa Majors.
It is an absolute tragedy. Those responsible, however many there may be, will be brought to justice.
Police say the teen is not the killer, but was found with the murder weapon, a knife, and made comments linking him to the grisly crime. He's now charged with murder, robbery, and weapons possession. His statements to detectives also implicating 2 additional suspects, one of them a 14-year-old interviewed by police, the other still at large.
There's going to be an 8 female white stabbed at this time.
Majors walking through the park just a block from her school early Wednesday evening when authorities say a group of suspects demanded money before fatally stabbing the 18-year-old student multiple times.
What's the script on the park? I know the script.
Police now say the 13-year-old suspect in custody was seen on grainy surveillance video from the park. The campus community grappling with the devastating loss. Majors just weeks shy of finishing her first semester, a budding journalist and musician.
When you saw her, you knew that that's what she was meant to be doing. She was a great performer.
Her heartbroken family telling ABC News, "We are devastated by the senseless loss of our beautiful and talented Tess. We are thankful for the incredible outpouring of love and support we have received from across the country." And David, that 13-year-old suspect who was arrested has now been charged as a juvenile. This case now being handled in family court. Police tell us he's been accompanied by his aunt this entire investigation. She maintains her nephew's innocence. He's now being held without bail. David?
Ariel Reshef tonight. Ariel, thank you.
Hi. Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And now let's take a look at your WMUR News 9 Cook's Corner Chicken Marsala. Let's take a look at that video from WMUR News 9.
Cook's Corner is on the road. We are here at Barron's Major Brands in Salem, and we have with us Chef Parker for Fratello's in Manchester. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, absolutely. Don't worry. I know your secret name is Superman, and you go by a whole bunch of others.
That's right.
It's great to be here. Thank you for helping.
Yeah, today is all about Mr. Eat Everything You Make. Oh my gosh, look at this. I love that you already have this going. So what are you making for us today?
So we're going to do a chicken marsala today, which I've got some of my favorite ingredients in here. This has become a standard at Fratello's, and people just love it. So one thing I want to do is I want to get my garlic right in here. So I've got my chicken breast that's got some flour on it, a little bit of salt and pepper, some clarified butter. And I want to get my garlic right in there, and then I'm going to go ahead and get some mushrooms. See if we can get those sauteed a little bit for you. And then really, I mean, it's a fun dish because there isn't a whole lot to add to it, but you get a lot of flavor out of it.
A lot of flavor, and that's the major thing, right? You want to keep the ingredients low, but then you just want to have all that pop in there.
Absolutely. So this is my personal favorite right here. We got a nice marsala we're going to add to it. And if we do it right, this should flame right up for us. Oh, yeah, see? So I want about 6 to 8 ounces of that.
My wife wouldn't trust me for that.
All right, that's why I do this. You can have a personal chef come to the house; he'll be happy.
There you go.
Or you can just come to my restaurant. It's a lot easier. I already get all the stuff.
True.
Cool.
And
so
no
we got
dishes
that.
to do.
Correct. Yeah. So you get that really alcohol-y taste that's in there, unless you cook all that alcohol off. So you can see the flames starting to die out. This is a perfect time to go ahead and add a little bit of chicken stock to it. Perfect. So we're going to do that. All right, and then this is just going to cook out a little bit. Boy, these stoves are great here. I need one of these in my restaurant.
Right.
You know, a little bit more salt and pepper.
We know some people.
Absolutely. All right, so we got all our seasonings in there. I'm going to add a little bit of parsley to it, and then we've got some basil we're going to get right in there, and that's pretty much everything we need. Now, once that starts to boil, I'm going to add a little bit what's called rolled butter. So it's butter and flour. It's like making a faux roux, and it just kind of gives it a little bit of viscosity, like thicken it up.
Yeah.
So that it's nice on the palate. Yeah.
I have a feeling all of this is going to be nice on the palate.
You're going to eat good today, I can promise you that. All right, so I've got my rolled butter. This is going to go right in here. And while this is going, we're going to get our linguine going in our nice water right over here and get it nice and hot.
Okay.
And this is pretty much it from here.
You make it look so simple.
Well, you know what? Practice makes perfect. If I was playing a guitar right now, I'd be lost. So it's a good thing we're doing this. You do the same thing.
Absolutely. Oh, look at that nice color, too, that you're getting. And you're right. It is starting to get a nice little thick. It's starting to thicken up there, the sauce a little bit.
Oh, yeah. It's just getting a little love to it. Make it nice and easy, and then we're going to put it right on top of there, and we're done.
Perfect. How do you guys find the inspiration, real quick? How do you find the inspiration for the different items?
You know, people often ask me why I do this. It's because it makes people happy.
Yeah.
And that's one of the greatest joys you can ever have. So a lot of jobs don't get that opportunity.
Yeah, you definitely make folks happy.
You and me are unicorns, I guess is the best way to say it.
Oh, look at that. That looks perfect.
Cool.
All right, Chef Adam, thank you so much for your time. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
That looks very, very yummy. That looked yummy. I could eat that right now. What about you guys? Chicken masala. Yum, yum, yum. And now let's take a look at your event calendar for today. Breakfast with Santa fundraiser, 8 o'clock a.m. at Auburn Village School. Pancake breakfast with Santa, 8:30 a.m. at First Parish Church. Ugly Sweater for Mahler presents by Tito's Whole Handmade Vodka, 9 o'clock a.m. at Backyard Brewery. Candia Garden Club Wreath Sale, 9 o'clock a.m. at the Candia Fire Department. Children's Store, 9 a.m. Elwood O. Wells, American Legion Post 112 at 9 o'clock a.m. Downtown Holiday Market, 9 o'clock a.m. at Brady Sullivan Plaza. Bishop Brady Annual Craft Fair, 9 o'clock a.m. at Bishop Brady High School. and book sale at the Derry Public Library at 9:30 a.m. And those are your events today on the event calendar. And that does it for this morning edition of the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all enjoyed watching. Have a great Saturday, everyone, and see you back here later on today for another newscast. Goodbye, everyone.